Good evening, University. It's 6 p.m. September 15. I'm Bảo Trương and this is 11P2 Daily News. Now today let's take a look about a topic called environment and climate change, which is the most concerned issue nowadays. And today we will meet Mr. Hung, a famous environmentalist, currently work at the USA. Good evening, Mr. Hung. As you can know that climate change is one of the most dangerous phenomenon that cause a lot of natural disaster. So can you tell me something about it?
Good evening, studio. I'm Hung. Here's the reason for this disaster. The sun emits shortwave radiation, and this radiation is invisible to the gases in the troposphere. Just imagine it just like the glass in a greenhouse. But the Earth tries to cool off by sending heat energy in long-wave radiations. Now, this type of radiation, the gases you can see, just like the glass that can keep some heat from escaping in a greenhouse. The gases intercept this long-wave radiation and send it back to the surface. That means that the Earth has to produce even more of that going heat energy to cool off enough to balance the heating of the sun. And that causes the temperature of the Earth's surface to rise. The atmosphere is that the sun is warming the planet. The planet is trying to cool off by sending heat energy out to space. But the greenhouse gases intercept some of that heat energy. Some of it they are allowed to escape out to space, but some of it they send back towards the surface of the Earth. That means that the Earth has to produce even more of that outgoing heat energy to cool off enough to balance the heating of the sun. And that causes the temperature of the Earth's surface to rise. And that's what we call the greenhouse effect. So what are the causes of this effect? Carbon dioxide, methane, CFC, and so on. Noticeably, coal is the nastiest of fossil fuels. The damages are not just those of combustion, but that is just the icing on the cake. But it goes from exploration, mining, drilling, excavation, coal washing, and finally dealing with the leftover waste. Coal dust is released mixed with heavy metals such as mercury, selenium, and arsenic into the atmosphere. Those are the real causes to this threat, which is called climate change.
So, could you tell me more about what does humans have to suffer when facing with this threat?
Since the Middle Paleolithic, 200,000 years ago, modern humans are known to exist, maybe more. In 240 years, we were capable of putting that in jeopardy. Excuse me, but there's no coincidence here. We virtually destroy our habitat of 0.12% of our existence. The fact that the use of fossil fuels was a mistake could not be more evident. Yes, we built beautiful things with it, but was it worth it? People that live near coal mining sites are prone to higher average rates of pulmonary diseases, hypertension, and kidney diseases. Mines explode, sometimes burn for centuries. In China, 20 million tons of coal burn underground each year. In the USA, 100 fires burn at any moment, which is in 2020. Underground fires release a lot of methane into the atmosphere, which is a much more potent greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide. At surface level, the running water mixes with it, which causes an enormous workload of coal dust, combined with high levels of sulfur, and converts into a runoff of sulfuric acid that pollutes rivers, lakes, and finally pollutes into aquifers and drinking water. So, it is an absolute mess. an absolute mess, and we have not dealt yet with the combustion. Global warming is the observation that Earth's temperature has gone up almost 1 degree Celsius at a rate never before seen in the climate record. The scientific community agrees that the rate at which the greenhouse effect has been enhanced directly relates to the amount of carbon dioxide that we generate into the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide is responsible for about 67% of the enhanced greenhouse effect or global warming. Methane accounts for 17, and all the greenhouse gases account for 17 too. Methane is increasing more rapidly than carbon dioxide. Still, methane decays and turn into carbon dioxide in the long run. So a measurement of carbon dioxide increase in believed to be direct measurement of greenhouse gas pollution. Carbon dioxide constitutes about 0.04% of the gases in the atmosphere. So how can it be harmful? Here's some consequences which are listed by myself, like 400 billion tons of ice in the 3 significant glaciers are melting yearly, or the ocean is about 30% more acid, or 2016 was the warmest year ever.
Okay, thanks for your sharing. So, and with the expertise, we would like to demonstrate some way to use power in an effective way to solve the climate change problem. And to talk about how to use the power, use the energy, we should consider about their sources. Talk about source, we got wind power from the turbine, hydropowers, fuel energies, radioactive source, or artificial energies. All of this energy give us power for our daily use, but there are always a drawback of it. Like wind energy and hydropower, we have to destroy land, forest, tree to make room for the massive turbine and massive dam. And for other like fuel or the CO2 emission is one of the main causes of the greenhouse effect and lead to the global climate change. And as you can see, both of the benefit and the drawback are remarkable. So the question is, what is the optimal solution for this phenomenon? Firstly, people have to take risks to increase the number of dam and wind turbine to provide a considerable amount of energy, and then decrease the number of factory because the emission from factory is the main cause of the greenhouse effect and cause a global climate change. And second, we have to convince people to regrow and preserve old forests and then organize lots of afforestation to increase the amount of trees. And moreover, it is more considered to clean the ocean because based on the research, green algae and cyanobacteria from the sea environment provide more than 70% of the oxygen in the earth, so that clean the surface and avoid to dump waste into the sea to raise the effective of this species is the best way. And last, in the future, we hope that scientists will create something called reusable source of energies or eternal source of energies, so that a car can run non-stop on the road day by day without waste out any emission, and that modern technology can guarantee a future without global climate change. This is the end of today's news. I'm Bao. Thank you and have a nice day.